who has had the strongest hold over the party.
Wow.
In my view. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm just stating what I think is a fact.
Sure.
I don't think whether you look at Mandela, whether you look at... Because I don't count Mandela to the extent that there was a lot that was mythical about Mandela. So I don't count Mandela.
Yeah.
So I start with Mbeki. You look at Mbeki, okay, Kgalema Motlanthe was not an ANC president, was head of state for 7 months. You look at Zuma. For me, it is Ramaphosa who has had the strongest hold over the party. He seems to have understood what his predecessors failed to understand, particularly Mbeki, by the way, who I would have thought would have been much more strategic than all of them. But in some way was the least strategic, and that is why he lost in Polokwane. Ramaphosa seems to have understood that being in control of the state is meaningless if you are not in control of the party. So Ramaphosa, when I compare him to his predecessors, is the one ANC leader who has a hold on both the state and the party. Now, of course, the question is, what has he done with that power? Not much.
Yeah, that's the frustrating thing.
Not much. He has nothing to show. The country has nothing to show for the fact that we have this man who, in my view, is the only one since 1990 who understands that he must control the state and the party. Because to control the party without having control over the state is meaningless. And to control the state without having control over the party is equally meaningless. He seems to have understood that. But the ends to which he has exercised his power is another question altogether. I think we have very little to show in terms of progress in the ANC and progress in the country and progress in the state are concerned. So, at face value, and remember these days, to be political is to stay on the surface. So at face value, Ramaphosa is a dead man walking. He's a lame duck. Members of the party are in the process of speculating about who's going to succeed him, because he is not going to be head of state in 2029. Who is going to be head of state in 2029? Now, that question used to be much easier until May.
Absolutely.
The import of that question since May has changed.
Yeah.
Because that question only applied to dynamics inside the ANC.
Yeah.
That's no longer the case. We have to look at what's happening inside the ANC and outside, in case our electoral politics produce a head of state who's not from the ANC.
Yeah.
You know? So the question Helen Zille raises when you're asking ask her about, I think I asked her about what milestones should you look at. The question she raises about looking at who is going to succeed Ramaphosa is important.
Yeah.
Because you must remember why the ANC fell below 40% in May. And the answer is, I think, in the first episode of our election trilogy. when we talked about the fact that the outcome of the May election is going to be shaped not by votes, but by money. So in part, the result of the May 2024 elections is engineered by capital. And maybe let me commit the sin of dabbling in critical race theory, even if it is at an elementary level.